I'm a wicked soul from the 10th circle of hell, possessing the body of a rich family's daughter they recently retrieved. As soon as I opened my eyes, my sister Luna pretended to fall down the stairs, sobbing like she was wronged. Sister, why did you push me? Dad, the CEO, frowned and scolded. Just a peasant crawling out of the slums, always doing disgraceful things. Mom slapped me hard. Bringing you back just causes trouble. Should have left you where you were. My fiancé, Ben, even declared, even if Luna's not the real deal, I only recognize her. I looked at them coldly, slowly smirking. Might as well fit the crime. A few slaps from me and Luna's cheeks were swollen like a pig's head. They were furious. How dare you? Not only do I dare, I can do worse. Dragging Luna by the neck up to the 4th floor. Didn't die in the fall. Let's try again. Everyone stared at me in shock, forgetting to intervene. Fake Luna stopped pretending and yelled for help. Nancy, let go of me. With most of Luna's body hanging out the window, she was genuinely terrified now, crying and begging. No. Parents finally snapped out of it, scrambling toward me, still cursing and threatening through their fear. I just smiled and this time, actually pushed. With a scream, Luna fell out the window. The next sound was a thud, and Mom fainted, covering her mouth. Dad, legs trembling, shuffled to the window, falling and getting back up, too scared to look out. Ben arrived, eyes red with rage, gripping my neck, as if wanting to kill me. I clicked my tongue, better hurry and save her. Luna can't swim. What? Ben paused, then released me, rushing to the window. I followed, peering over slightly. Even a newcomer like me knows there's a big pool down there. Why do I need to remind you? Sure, there's a pool, but Luna can't swim. She was splashing around, about to go under for real. Ben, panicking, jumped down without thinking. Luna was saved, clinging to Ben, sobbing for real this time. Then, a slap landed on my face, covering my numbed cheek. I met Dad's enraged gaze. His finger shook at me, face twisted. You're a monster, a demon. I chuckled, got it right. Yeah, I'm a demon, one punished for 10 lifetimes, with no chance to reincarnate. Each life was cruel, raped to death, drowned by parents, sold into childbirth slavery. I escaped to the living, possessing this body. Real daughter Nancy was swapped at birth by a greedy nurse. She struggled in the slums for 18 years, beaten and neglected even when returned home. Everyone belittled her, and even her fiancé despised her. Everyone hated Nancy's rural vibe, but no one taught her to be elegant. In the face of educated Luna, Nancy became severely depressed, losing the will to live. She chose death and asked for revenge, a new life. I was going to say no, until I noticed her life mirrored mine. Funny, I've always resisted fate. Mom woke from her faint, looking at me in fear. You're not my daughter. I spread my hands. Even Nancy wouldn't choose to be your kid. Ben, standing with a shivering Luna, gave me a hateful look. Nancy's picked up bad habits from 18 years in the slum. Needs to learn her lesson. Luna played innocent. She said she never meant me harm, but was shocked I tried to kill her. Mom cried. I wanted peace between you two, but this, I can't defend you any longer. She turned and left, with Dad and Ben following, leaving me alone in the empty villa. I searched Nancy's memories, finding only grievances. Nancy shared her perfect scores, only to be accused of arrogance because Luna barely passed. Nancy was invited abroad as a scholar, but Luna's desire to stay with her led her parents to refuse on Nancy's behalf. Whenever the family traveled, Nancy was left behind, claimed to be too rustic by Luna. Luna recommended a subpar etiquette teacher, worsening Nancy's skills, confirmed by her parents' disdain. We expected no better from someone like you. Various favoritism laid bare. How could Mom say she defended Nancy? Suddenly, the lights went out, plunging the villa into darkness. Nancy's old phone buzzed with a text from Mom. We're leaving you to reflect. Go hungry, learn your place. Don't try to escape. The power outage locks the house. I've ordered the maids to toss the food. Apologize, and Luna might forgive you. With a beep, the lock engaged. I smirked. Is this their idea of a lesson? For Nancy, with her severe gastritis from starvation, it may have been deadly. But not for me. Ghosts don't need food. Mom was devout, so I found treasures easily. Lit incense and paper, feasting spiritually. Gained weight and a glow, as it turned out. 3 days passed quickly. While I was enjoying the sun, Luna showed up at the villa door with a few takeout boxes. She gave me a timid look, but spoke bravely. Mom and Dad took me out for a fancy meal. We didn't finish everything. Even though you almost killed me, I just can't watch my sister starve. If you apologize, I might forgive you. Before she could finish, I stuffed a slipper through the gate gap into her mouth, acting innocent, yet leaving me starving for 3 days knowing I have a severe stomach issue. You must be disappointed I didn't starve to death. Luna stumbled back with a distorted face from the slipper, her arms scraped, and takeout boxes spilled all over. The mess released a rotten smell. Who knows how many days it sat there. She pulled out the slipper, tears streaming, but not looking at me, instead at a bright spot nearby. Why are you treating me like this, sister? Do I have to die to make you happy? I whistled cheerfully, always talking about dying, but you never really do it. If you're brave, go lie in the middle of the road now. Hatred flashed in her eyes as she cried harder. Fine, I'll do it. Just stop troubling Mom and Dad. She turned to leave, but our parents pulled her back immediately. Mom was shaky with worry, checking Luna for any harm. Did she hit you again? Don't cry, we'll protect you. Dad glared at me angrily, even locked up. You can't behave. Do you want me to go hard on you? Luna, tearful and full of fear, said, even though Mom and Dad told me to punish her. I thought sister hadn't eaten for days and would be hungry, so I wanted to help. But then, she cried harder, but then, she stuffed a slipper in my mouth and told me to die. Maybe she'd only be happy if I was dead. Mom wanted to slap me, but was blocked by the villa's iron bars. Dad suppressed his anger. I told you to get along with Luna if you wanted to stay with us. Or would you rather go back to that rat-infested slum? I rolled my eyes. She stole my life, took everything from me, set me up multiple times, and I'm not supposed to hate her. Before Mom could respond, I hurled the food scraps at her feet. Try eating this. Luna brought this crap to me. If you can eat it, then I'll learn to be grateful. But if you can't stomach it, don't expect gratitude from me. Mom sniffed, gagged immediately. Even Dad smelled the rotten stench, but instinctively defended Luna. Luna packed this last night. She's not used to housework, probably forgot the fridge, but it's no excuse to hit her. No point in talking further. I turned away, enjoying the sun on my lounge chair. Their hearts had completely sided with their adopted daughter. Surprisingly, they started making excuses for me when I said nothing. Mom suggested, maybe she's mentally ill from the stress. Our own blood, we should get her treated. A decent excuse to hit. I nodded. Seeing Luna makes me crazy, feel like killing. I might really be sick, better get her out. Luna looked hateful but turned. Fake said, if I made sister sick, I'm willing to leave. Mom hugged her. Don't say that. Only a doctor can confirm if she's sick. Dad sneered. Even if she is mentally ill, it's her weakness, not your fault. Don't try playing sick. I'll personally oversee your checkup. They couldn't send me back to the slums, so they took me for a full mental health screening. The results confirmed I was indeed ill. I saw relief in their faces. I knew our genes were fine. Must have been the nanny. Mom blamed viciously, unaware of Luna's changing expression beside her. With a psychiatric certificate in hand, I stayed silent. Living for centuries, I could see through the couple's thoughts. I mimicked Nancy's humility and Luna's fake sincerity. I'm unloved by Mom and Dad and now I'm ill. Even good grades wouldn't matter, might as well die. The doctor intervened. Patients must avoid emotional disturbances. Sudden anger or depression are symptoms. You must be careful. Mom nodded while Dad sarcastically said, I'll overlook Luna's injury, because you're ill, but no more. Take your meds. They let me slide under the cover of mental illness, but not Luna. She watched me with venomous eyes. Starting at a new school, I heard rumors. Is that Luna's crazy sister? Psychotic since childhood. Why'd they bring her back? Think she bites? Someone joked. Check this video. Nancy shoves Luna down the stairs, gets punished with no food. Luna brings her food and gets attacked. Nancy's trouble. Hope she's not in my class. Minor rumors, but I would settle scores directly with Luna. As I stepped into the classroom, a bucket of mud and dirty water poured over me. The stench spread as amused and disgusted gazes landed on me. Nearby, Ben comforted Luna. Just a small punishment. You're too nice to let it go any further. I glared coldly at them, said nothing, and used a mop to soak up the mess. They thought I was scared, sighing and mocking. She sure knows her place cleaning up. Make it spotless, or else. I slammed a mop into his disgusting mouth, making him gag and roll his eyes. Seeing me hit his buddy, Ben pointed at me furiously. You dare to fight back? I chuckled. Not only do I dare, but I'll hit you back tenfold. I tossed the mop at Ben, hitting both him and the Luna he was holding. They were instantly nauseated, wishing they could peel their skin off. But I didn't give them a chance. Grabbing the garbage can from the back of the classroom, I stood on a chair and dumped the trash all over them. Luna screamed and tried to run, but got a trash can stuck on her head, crashing into the wall and falling over. The specially modified short school skirt did nothing to cover her, exposing her pale legs and pink underwear to the whole class. Ben shook off the trash and covered the exposed Luna with his jacket, then turned, seething with anger. Nancy, you're dead meat. I covered my mouth in shock. What? I'm dead meat. You're gonna kill me. Before he could answer, I screamed and ran out of the classroom, shouting, Ben's gonna kill me. Ben's gonna murder me. My sister Luna is egging her boyfriend Ben on to kill someone. Clutching an old phone that luckily could still connect to the internet, I started a live broadcast, crying that someone was going to kill me. I gave my address and shouted out Ben and Luna's full names too, drawing in a ton of online viewers. Why be polite when I could just go nuts? A teacher rushing over tried to stop me, but I was too fast. This teacher only cared about money. Before, Nancy got into this posh school through her grades, but when Luna bribed the teacher, they refused to accept Nancy, casually claiming they saw her abusing cats on the street. This time, my parents had made a big donation for the school building, forcing them to take Nancy in. People on the outside didn't know Nancy's identity. They believed Luna when she said I was the unloved, crazy sister, helping Luna to bully Nancy. But I wasn't one to suffer in silence. If someone tried to stop me, I'd shove them away, and if they went too far, I'd kick them over. In less than 10 minutes, everyone in the school knew I pissed off Luna, and Ben wanted to kill me for it. Using sheer strength, I raced unimpeded to the broadcast room. The staff there stared at me in shock. Who are you? What do you want? Flashing a sly grin and holding up a fake mental illness certificate, I said, I think I'm about to have a breakdown. Could you let me use the broadcast room for a bit? My nonsense left them bewildered, but as soon as they saw the certificate, they backed away. At my shout, they all ran out. I popped in a prepared tape and leisurely lounged in a chair inside the broadcast room. Luna banged on the door, yelling, Nancy, come out now. I've already told Mom and Dad. You caused trouble as soon as you transferred to the school, and our parents won't forgive you. Normally, hearing this would make Nancy back down, hoping for parental approval. But not me. I wanted those parents as far away as possible. Seeing I wasn't responding, Luna started to panic. What do you want? Ben, furious, chimed in, it's one thing to hit us, but you dare to spread lies. You better come out, kneel before Luna, apologize, and explain to everyone how you were lying. Where Ben got his confidence from, I didn't know. Nancy might long for her parents' approval, but she never liked him. Yet Ben always thought Nancy wanted to take him away from Luna, turning all of Nancy's actions into threats in his mind. Ben believed what Luna said and his guesses, never bothering to find evidence. If Luna set Nancy up, Ben was the accomplice handing her the weapon. In a way, he's also part of why Nancy has depression. The door was banging loudly when my parents finally showed up, along with Ben's parents. Since students had already taken sneaky videos of the drama, the news of Ben wanting to kill Nancy for Luna shot up as a trending topic. This was a scandal for a wealthy family. Gossip spread quickly. Ben's family tried to suppress the news, but suffered big financial losses, and swarms of reporters surrounded them, asking if it was true. Enraged, Ben's company's executives declared all deals off until this was resolved, leaving my parents scrambling. In an outright PR move, they said before the reporters, Luna is our biological daughter. Nancy is an adopted orphan with mental illness, never strictly disciplined. We never imagined she'd spread these wild rumors, dragging innocent people down. Luna cried crocodile tears. My sister really is mentally ill. She pushed me from the 4th floor, and it's a miracle I survived. The door suddenly opened. It turned out my dad had called in workers to take it down. Reporters rushed in. Ms. Nancy, was your broadcast real? Did Mr. Ben really say he'd kill you? Ms. Nancy, is what your parents said about your mental illness true? Ms. Luna said you pushed her from the 4th floor. Is that true? Before I could answer, Ben stepped forward, grabbing the mental illness certificate I had left in the room. She is mentally ill. It's certified. How can you trust anything a mentally ill person says? Call the hospital and have them take her away. My mother dropped fake tears and held Luna close, saying, even for your own good, we can't keep you any longer. You'll have to go to the hospital. To quell public outrage, they were planning to send their own daughter to the mental hospital. I sneered at them and slowly walked up to my parents. Fearful, they took a step back. I sighed. What could I possibly do in front of all these people? I just have one question for Mom. My mother hesitated, but I hugged her tearfully. Mom, I can't bear to leave you. Luna widened her eyes. Sister, stop struggling. You're too sick to stay at school. Even begging Mom won't help. Ignoring her, I whispered so only my mom could hear. Mom, you faked the mental illness certificate for me. Are you seriously sending me to the hospital? Her eyes trembled, unsure how I knew the truth. Nancy just had depression. It was only my bad temper. The bizarre mental illness diagnosis must have been orchestrated by either my mom or dad. Maybe they couldn't accept their biological daughter being so unruly, or maybe something else. But now, if she just steps up and says the certificate is fake, I'm willing to give them another chance. Mom can't bear to let you go either. but patients should stay where they belong. My mother shoved me away, and the staff at the mental hospital quickly restrained me. Reporters were bombarding with questions, and Ben watched everything with satisfaction. Even Luna had a satisfied smile. My father glared at me in annoyance. "Aren't you going to take this disgraceful thing away?" Just when everyone thought it was all settled, a middle-aged man in a business jacket suddenly stepped out from the crowd. "Who dares?" Dozens of armed vehicles entered the campus, and rows of riot police, fully armed, followed behind him. He showed his ID. "I'm Mark, Director of the National Institute of Technology. I'm here to take student Nancy away safely." It was like dropping a hot iron ball into icy water. Everyone stared at me in shock. What does this mean? Why is he taking Nancy? This is the director of the National Institute of Technology. What could Nancy possibly have that would make him come in person? The psychiatric hospital staff holding on to me were stunned, their hands releasing involuntarily. Reporters were too afraid to press the shutter. Some who reacted quickly tried to pull out their memory cards, only to have a gun pointed at their heads by the riot police, raising their hands in fear. I slowly curled my lips into a smile. Nancy's efforts were not in vain after all. My parents tried to rush over to ask questions, but Mark didn't give them the chance, his intimidating gaze sweeping over everyone, making them too scared to move. Nancy is a talent that the nation needs. I believe you all understand the weight of that. Now, all reporters must hand over their cameras. We need to clear the data. Ben, looking possessed, grabbed Mark's wrist rudely. "She's just a country lunatic. Are you sure she's a talent the nation needs?" Ben's parents immediately smacked his hand away, apologizing respectfully. "Ben doesn't understand the rules, please forgive us. But we're a bit curious. Is student Nancy really the person you're looking for?" Mark snorted. "Some people mistake the real for the fake pearls, but I don't. Nancy is a top-secret talent of the nation, and you treated her like a lunatic. What a scandalous mistake." Only then did they realize I wasn't to be trifled with, but it was already too late. I cheerfully walked over to Mark. "Nice to finally meet you." Mark had once anonymously asked a question about atomic bomb construction on an academic site, which Nancy had replied to, perfectly solving his problem. Since then, Mark would occasionally communicate with Nancy on the site, and they became inseparable friends. 3 months ago, Nancy discovered a substance that could reduce national construction costs by 2/3. It was something that could benefit all of humanity. Mark was eager to invite Nancy into research, but at that time, Luna had deliberately destroyed her phone, claiming it was Nancy's fault. From then on, Nancy lost contact with Mark. It wasn't until I looked through Nancy's memories that I found out she had a research dream. If that's the case, I was going to help her fulfill it. I was escorted by Mark with national-level security to the research bureau. Everyone at school was silenced. No one dared to speak out. After all, speaking would be treason, and that was a capital crime. And after I left, a disc I had earlier inserted in the broadcast room began to play. It was all audio of Luna insulting and framing Nancy, including my parents' favoritism in daily life. It also included my mom bribing a doctor to forge a fake certificate of my mental illness. Everything became clear at that moment. Luna frantically defended herself, saying the audio was fake, but I was personally recognized by Mark as talent. How could they contradict the head of the National Technology Institute? Confidential info hadn't leaked, but Mark's words about mistaking the fake for real pearls became a top trending topic. This time, everyone was praising me in unison. Elementary school classmates, who never showed up before, suddenly posted online. "Nancy is a very kind and hard-working person. Although she lived in the slums, she was always self-reliant. I hope everyone recognizes the real her." A convenience store clerk I met only once said. She used to run errands for her fake princess sister, sweaty but still mindful of reminding me when I dropped my wallet. "She's really a good person." A classmate who witnessed Ben splashing water on me said. Actually, that day Ben and Luna were trying to stir things up. They planned to give Nancy a hard time. It was all premeditated. "Luna's a total slut and loves to act weak and innocent." Seeing these online comments only made me laugh. When I was weak, they didn't appear. Now that I'm strong and dazzling, they start showing kindness. What an upside-down world. With Nancy's memories, I smoothly implemented all of her concepts and ideas. But research is a long process. I stayed in the cold yet warm lab for 10 years before achieving satisfying results, with Mark by my side, overjoyed. He kept patting my shoulder, saying, "I knew I saw the right person." Truly a gem. The state announced the good news. Everyone celebrated this result. People who had witnessed me being taken by Mark 10 years ago began to stir again, anonymously revealing online that the lead research personnel attended a certain prestigious school. The whole internet started digging into my identity, yet no information was found. I existed only in rumors, never substantively discovered. My name had become a taboo, something that would trigger a warning just by searching online. My father suddenly passed away, and my mother wrote dozens of letters to the institute, begging me, her only biological daughter, to come back for the funeral. Mark looked at me inquisitively. You haven't been back in years. Do you want to go see? I shook my head, placing the letter atop the others in a stack that nearly filled the mailbox. I'd foreseen their miserable ending long ago. After all, the first thing I said when entering the research institute was, "Let those unworthy corporations disappear." Mark smiled and nodded at me then. From that moment, Ben and Luna's family businesses fell. Companies not favored by the state would eventually disappear, especially ones like these that monopolized resources and exploited national resources. What I said merely provided a convenient excuse for clearing them out. By the second year at the research institute, I already knew Ben's group went bankrupt. That same year, my mom, who never wrote before, sent 18 letters in a row. Unable to reach me, she sent them to the research institute. She said she realized her mistakes and apologized, begging me to see them one last time. But Nancy's soul wasn't there anymore. What good is a belated apology? I didn't reply to any. She persistently wrote several more. Some younger colleagues would ask if they could open them, and I said, go ahead. They all knew about my parents' favoritism. As soon as I read the letter, I was so mad. I vented about it to my friends. They said my dad was trying to recover financially by marrying Luna off to a wealthy businessman, but that guy was already 58 and had some weird habits. Luna didn't want any part of it, so she fled abroad, taking most of their money with her. Now my dad says there's another investor interested in me overseas. He thinks we should have a family alliance with them. He promised to give me some shares if I went back. The youngest of the group straight up spat. What a joke. How much is a bankrupt company even worth? Nancy saved way more money for the office in a year than he could make in a lifetime. And then there's my mom, claiming she only just realized Luna's true nature. Man, that's messed up. When they took you home, they treated you so poorly. Now that the fake daughter betrayed them, they suddenly remember your worth. Unbelievable. And Ben, he says he was fooled by Luna too, claiming she's just a fake pretty face. He wants to apologize to you and pathetically asks to get to know you again. I laughed and told my buddy not to worry. I even promised to buy him dinner to cheer him up. Everyone else in the office wanted in on it too, and I said yes to all of them. Seeing them all smile brightened my day. I glanced out the window, and there was the real Nancy. She said, "Thank you for fulfilling my wishes. I hope you achieve everything you want to." And with that, she faded away into starlight, carried off by the wind. I realized she'd been watching over me all along. So she must have seen my parents regretful and remorseful. The nurse who changed our destinies ended up in jail, and the fake daughter destitute, and died miserably abroad. With my life on earth full and happy, returning to the underworld, my bitterness had all gone. God looked at me with approval and said, "I knew you were discontented, so I gave you a chance to live your dreams. I hope you've let go of your grudge, and can now enter a normal cycle of reincarnation." God waved a hand gently, and sent me back into the cycle of rebirth. Even before I opened my eyes, I heard a hopeful conversation from a couple. The baby kicked me. Oh my gosh, she actually moved. Good job baby, kick again. Seems like this time I'm born into a happy and loving family. My parents are so excited for my arrival.